It is that time again. The Sephora VIB sale is back, and today I'm going to be sharing my guide, including the products I recommend, the products I think you should avoid, and I will also share my wish list. So let's just jump straight in. I will have all of the sale details in the description box, but let's start off with the products that I recommend, and let's start off with skincare. And the funny part is I was pulling out all my skincare recommendations and I'm looking at them and I'm like, these are all moisturizers. But you know, winter is coming, so let me talk you through my favorite moisturizers as a dry skin girly. First, I want to start off with the recommendation that is probably I don't want to say the least hydrating because that I feel like has negative connotations. It seems like it's not hydrating. It is, but this is less heavy and less intense than the other two I'm going to recommend. So this one's a little bit more lightweight. I guess that's a better description. This is the Glow Recipe Plum Plump Hyaluronic Cream. So I'm actually on my second jar of this. Well, it's the same jar, but they do refillable packaging. So this is my second insert, my second full tub, if you will. This is a gorgeous base to put makeup on top of. This is one of my favorite moisturizers to use during the daytime when I'm applying makeup over top of it. I don't reach for this as consistently as like a PM moisturizer. I would actually recommend the other two for PM. This is better for daytime. Or if you have oily skin, I think it could probably work either time. So this is part of their Plum Plump line. It kind of centers around hyaluronic acid, but this gel texture leaves my skin so plump and dewy, but not greasy or heavy. Like it doesn't feel slimy. It just feels really, really hydrated. And I think foundation wears beautifully over top of this one. My two nighttime options. First, we have the Pharmacy Honey Halo. This is also my second one of these. Actually, it might be my third if I'm being honest. So first of all, you have your spatula and it has a magnetic top, so you never lose that. I think that's such a cute touch. The star ingredient here is honey. That's part of this line. It is super hydrating, but it also has ceramides in it, which is great for your barrier. I have pretty dry skin, especially in the winter months. I can get incredibly flaky around my chin, and this is one that I reach for when I'm struggling with that. But honestly, I reach for it like year round, even in the summertime. And one I feel like doesn't get a lot of buzz is the Skin Fix Barrier Plus Triple Lipid Peptide Cream. These products have such long names. Okay, this is great for anyone with sensitive skin. The Skin Fix line, I feel like, is wonderful if you are running into any issues with your barrier, which for me ends up being like peeling, especially if you're using tretinoin and you're finding it really irritating. This is the answer. Like this line in general is really great for any compromised skin, whether you've like overdone it with exfoliating products, which I know I've done before, or with your tretinoin, or you just have sensitive skin. I highly recommend the line from Skin Fix. I actually debated if these go in skincare or makeup, but they'll kind of be our transition into makeup. Let's talk about these Summer Fridays. Are you proud of me? I didn't say Sunday Riley. This is like anytime I try to say Sunday Riley, I say Summer Fridays. Anytime I try to say Summer Fridays, I say Sunday Riley, but not today. These are the lip butter balms. These have been just so viral, but I think they're worth the hype. So I actually have 3 of these. I've got cherry, sweet mint, and pink sugar. My favorite is probably pink sugar. These two are a little tinted. This one is clear. I don't end up using cherry that much because it is a pretty red tint, but if that is your preference, you would probably love this because you're getting the hydration plus that little bit of wash of color. These are so hydrating. They smell delicious. I love the applicator. There's just something really nostalgic to me about anything in this type of squeeze up tube. There's a reason we've been seeing these everywhere. I think they're very much worth the hype, especially if you want kind of that tint. I feel like that's been really big, the tinted options, because you're getting that color, but you're also getting the hydration there. These are fantastic. Let's talk makeup. I did not choose one product in every category, and I try not to do that for my VIB sale recommendation videos because I want these to be like my tip-top favorites. So if there's a category that I don't have a favorite from Sephora, I don't want to mention something just for the sake of mentioning it. So some categories I have more than one, and some categories I don't have any. But let's start with primer. I debated including this because I was like, have I talked about this too much? Am I going to mention this and you guys are going to be like, oh yeah, that sounds like something you would recommend? Maybe. but it is the Denesamyrix Yummy Skin Primer. I'm almost out of this, but luckily I have a mini sample that I got recently. It was available as a point perk, and instantly I was like, into my cart, I need it. This is such an underrated product, let me tell you. So first of all, it comes in 2 tints. There is a lighter version and a deeper version, though the pigment on this is very minimal. It's incredibly sheer, so it's pretty adaptable. It could work for a lot of different people, but this gives the most like juicy, gel-like, plumped up finish on the skin, and foundation wears beautifully over top of this. If you have dry, sensitive skin and you get some peeling like I do, this is the perfect base step. But I think even on someone with a more oily skin type, this would still be a very well-loved primer because it's not like too greasy. It's glowy, okay? It's not greasy, it's glowy. It's hydrating, it's so good. No foundations to mention. I know, I was looking and I'm okay, what are my favorite foundations lately? It's still the Tarte CC, not CC, the Shape Tape Cloud Coverage. I am almost out of this. I'm wearing this today. I have been every day. I'm like, just use a little bit. You don't want to run out of it. I'll be so sad when this is gone. I would recommend this in this video, but it's not sold at Sephora. So that's really been like my everyday one. I've also been loving the REM foundation, but again, not at Sephora. I do love my Fenty Ease Drop, but let's skip over to concealer, okay? Because nothing was fully jumping out to me from foundation. But concealer, obviously, I have to talk about this. I talk about this every chance that I get because it's my favorite concealer probably to ever exist. It is the Natasha Denona concealer. Now, this concealer, unfortunately, is $30. So I think if you were wanting to grab it, now is the time. I know the VIB sale discount is pretty minor, especially depending on your tier. Like, it could be as low as 10%. But still, if you were wanting to try this, you know, that's better than nothing. I wear mine in the shade N4. Oh, actually, you know what though? I have an affiliate code on the Natasha Denona website and it gets you 15% off. So if you were just wanting to buy this or just wanting to buy one Natasha Denona product and your VIB sale discount is 15 or well, less. So if you're a beauty insider and you're getting 10%, if you want to get 15, I have an affiliate code on the website. You don't have to use mine. Lots of people have an affiliate code. Like, use someone's and get 15%. Okay, anyways. This concealer, I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing it almost every single day. I try to force myself to wear other concealers. I'm like, use a different one. And every time I do, I'm like, okay, that looks fine, but this would look better. It is so smoothing. It's kind of matte, but it's not like a flat matte. It almost has this satin finish to it that leaves your under eyes looking incredibly blurred out. It wears well even if you don't powder it. So regardless of your preference, it just sits really, really beautifully on the under eyes. I have the shade N4. It is my perfect shade match. That being said, I like my concealer shade to pretty much match my foundation. If you are my skin tone and you like your concealer to be brighter, I would choose an even lighter shade than this one. Okay, blush. I'm doing it. I'm talking about the Rare Beauty blush. I'm on board now. I get it. This is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Bliss. So I have this on my cheeks today, but I did put some Hourglass blush over top from the holiday palette. So you're not getting just Bliss. But this shade in particular has won my heart. I reach for it so frequently. If you have fair skin and you have been looking for a peachy nude blush that is light enough for your skin tone, look no further. It is Bliss. I think this is one of the most flattering blushes I found for fair skin. And it's not like too bright or anything. It is this very neutral pinky peach color. I do want to pick up another Rare Beauty blush in the sale, I'm pretty sure. I think these are fully worth the hype. But for bronzer, I have 2 to recommend. Let's start with a cream version. I have talked about this before. I'm sure I have recommended this in previous Sephora VIB sale videos, but maybe that just tells you even more of how much I love it. It is the Merit Bronzer Stick. Let's roll up and see how much I have left, because a decent amount, but actually more than I was expecting because I use this so frequently. I'm wearing this today. It is my most used cream bronzer. I also really love the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. I love that one. Those are my tip-top favorites. You know, if you want a drugstore option, you cannot go wrong with the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer. But this one, if you want to splurge a little bit, it is $30, but I do not think you'll be disappointed. This is the easiest bronzer to use, like cream bronzer wise. It blends itself. You don't really have to do much work. It is sheer enough that it's easy to work with, but I feel like the pigment still remains as you're blending it out, because I find some cream bronzers, especially the highly pigmented ones, it's like as I'm blending it out, the pigment is just moving around. It's not sitting well. Some can turn really muddy when you try to blend them out. Not this. It's so easy. It's so effortless. It's dewy, but it's not too like sticky dewy, because some I find a little too balmy. Like this is perfect. But if you're a powder bronzer lover, which I also am, we have to talk about this one. This is another one. I was like, do I include that? I talk about this every second that I get, but I figured, you know what? What's one more time? Okay. The Fenty bronzer in the shade In the Sun. Once again, if you have fair skin, this is the bronzer. This is one of the lightest bronzers that I've ever found. So if you have fair skin and you find that most just are too dark, try In the Sun from Fenty. You can see I already have pan here, and then there's like more pan starting over here on the side. When I tell you the second that this bronzer is empty, I will be going to repurchase it. Like there's a part of me that's like, do I purchase a backup during the sale? I try not to buy backups, but this might be worth it. I might do that. Or I might hold off. I think this will last me until spring. I might repurchase this in the spring sale, but I will always have this in my collection. It blends effortlessly. It is velvety. It sits perfectly on the skin. It is, I know this is a bold statement, it's the best bronzer. It's my favorite bronzer. It's my favorite bronzer to ever exist. It's so, so, so beautiful. This is why I love filming my Sephora VIB sub videos. Like any video that's a favorites video is very enjoyable for me to film, because I'm sitting here talking about the products that are phenomenal, the products that just always wear well, the products that I reach for the most. So I'm sitting here like, this bronzer is good, this blush is good. And let's continue that with a lip recommendation. So this is newer to me. I just mentioned this recently in my speed reviews, but I have been reaching for it pretty much nonstop. These are new from Tarte. Well, actually, the formula is not new, but this shade is new. So this is called Maracuja Juicy Lip Shift. So you will notice it's green. Funny enough, you've heard me talk about the original Maracuja Juicy Lip Plumps. The juicy version and the non-juicy version, they're fine, according to me. That's an unpopular opinion. I know everyone loves those. I find them to be just so globby. This, it's a similar texture and it sits really juicy and plump on the lips, but because this is clear, I don't think it looks globby, but it is pH adjusting. Now I said it's clear. You're like, no, it's not, girl, it's green. But it kind of applies on the lips clear. It's not applying like a pigment the way the other ones are. So I find that it is just a lot more comfortable sitting, and I think it is more flattering on my lips because of that. And weirdly enough, I wasn't expecting this, but the pH changing tones between the shades actually do vary a little bit. I'm using that loosely. They don't vary a ton. I don't think they vary enough to justify picking up more than one, but I do notice a slight difference. So I would recommend looking at swatches and deciding which one you think you would like the most. Personally, I love the green. I also have the purple. Oh, you know what though? I'm lying. This green one, this is one of the new pastel shades. This is Limeade. And right now, these are not at Sephora. This shade is only at Tarte, but there are other shades in the pH changing line that are at Sephora, and these ones will hopefully be coming soon. But even if it's not this particular shade, I recommend the pH changing ones. Okay, take this with a grain of salt because I am new to this, but I'm here to say I get the hype. I just started testing out the Tower 28 mascara. This is called Make Waves Mascara. I have the black shade, but after I mentioned this in a video, all my comments were like, girl, you know they're coming out with a brown, which is so exciting. I'm actually wearing this mascara today, and you saw my first impression of this in the video that went up on Friday. Now, keep in mind, I've probably only worn this 4 times now, so I'm not ready to give you my full review yet, but I have to shout it out in this video because right off the bat, I was like, okay, I get the hype. I understand why people love this mascara. It was clinging onto eyelashes I didn't even know I had. Like if you like a fluffy, very defined lash look, you will love this mascara. It's not the most volumizing in terms of coating each individual lash, but it's volumizing in the sense that it is emphasizing every single individual lash. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a difference. Some volumizing mascaras, they're giving you that volume because they're really coating the lashes and making them a little thick and a little clumpy sometimes. Some volumizing mascaras, I feel like you're getting the volume because it is actually individually gripping onto every lash and making every single one super defined. That is the Tower 28 mascara. And this is only $20. I say only, I'm saying that very loosely here because that's still a lot of money for a mascara, but compared to a lot of other competitors at Sephora, this is one of the more affordable options. So, and then if you can get a discount on top of that, highly recommend. Okay, my fragrance favorites, starting with the most inexpensive. Totally worth the hype. The Brazilian Crush number 40 from Sol de Janeiro. So I'm going to put the notes for all of these fragrances on the screen, but this is delicious if you are into gourmand vanilla scents, but you're also getting that plum in here that gives it a bit of a fruity twist without being like overwhelmingly fruity scented. This is such a complex scent for being as inexpensive as it is. And this, like, I have the smaller jar. It's not a jar, this is plastic, but I have the smaller bottle. They have a larger one as well. I kind of wish I would have grabbed that. That one is 8 ounces. This one is 3 ounces. This is delicious. Like, sometimes I love when I'm out and about and I smell someone's perfume and I know what it is. This one, I feel like I smell on people a lot. I'm like, oh, number 40. Great taste. And it's actually very similar to my number 1 favorite perfume of all time, Vanilla Woods. I will say though, I think Vanilla Woods has much more vanilla to it. I think you get that note a lot stronger in this, whereas this one, I don't think this one is as vanilla forward as this one, but I also think this is so well balanced with the pear. There is something so delicious, gourmand, feminine about this. This is by far my most complimented fragrance. Like whenever I wear this, people are like, oh, you smell amazing. You smell so nice. And it's this. Also, I wear this constantly and I feel like there's not even a huge dip in it because this has some of the best longevity for me, which shocks me because it is a clean fragrance and in general those don't tend to wear as long, but this has top 3 in my collection in terms of longevity. Like it lasts and lasts and lasts on me. One that doesn't last quite as long, but I love the scent and it is perfect for fall is this one from Skylar. This is Fall Cashmere. If you're familiar with Le Labo de Matcha, I think this gives really similar vibes, but more fall-like, if you will. All 3 of these I think are really fall appropriate. This is very spicy. Another like delicious gourmand scent. Let's talk about, what I might pick up because I have 2 fragrances that I want to talk about. So let's talk about my wish list before we get into the products I think you should skip. So first of all, I do actually have this. It's just a little baby. This was a sample I got recently. This is from Clean Reserve, and this is the scent Radiant Nectar. I'm going to pop the notes for this one on the screen also. This is maybe more spring, summer. It's definitely not as fall appropriate, but I also don't think you fully need to match your scents to the season. It's just kind of a fun extra thing to do, but this is like an everyday scent. This could be like your signature scent because it's not too overwhelming. Some notes are amberette seeds, pear, nectar, liquid musk. I think this just smells so clean and sweet without being like sickly sweet. And I love my little sample of it to the point that I'm like, I want to get maybe the mini size. Probably not the full, but maybe the mini. And also on my wish list is the other scent from this. Well, they have a few other scents, but I want to get 68, the pink one, the one that kind of smells like cloud. I really like that. And when I first purchased this, I was in store sniffing both and I was back and forth. I'm like, which one do I want to go with? I kind of like the vibes from both. And I love this one so much that I kind of think I want the other one. I don't know though 100% if I'm gonna shop during the sale. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. We'll see. But I do want to pick up one more Rare Beauty blush, and the shade that I've been looking at is Hope, and they also sell that one in the mini, which I talked about that in my Sephora sets video. So I'm gonna leave that full playlist link down below if you're planning to shop the sale and you're thinking about shopping any of the sets. I go super in-depth in that series. I've done 3 videos on Sephora sets and then 1 on advent calendars, plus there are like the advent calendars, some of them are at Sephora. So I'm gonna leave the playlist link down below because some of the sets are not a good value at all. There's also one other blush that I'm looking at and I'm trying to stop myself because I'm like, girl, if there's one thing you are set on, it is blushes. If you saw it, I just posted a blush collection video. It was 30 minutes of me swatching every single blush that I own. So I'll also leave that link down below so you can see like color swatches, especially if you're looking for any blush in the sale. But against my better judgment, this is on my wish list. It is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Blush. The nude shade in this, I have just seen look so flattering and beautiful on everyone. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't even normally love a cream blush in a pan like that. But this one has just been so highly recommended that I'm like, should I try it? And this is shocking, I know, but I have never tried anything from Makeup by Mario, and I feel like the time is now. I feel like I should. So if you have recommendations from the brand that you think I should pick up during the sale, let me know. But those are the only things that are really on my wish list. Those are the only things tempting me. But let's talk about what I think you should avoid. Now, I don't have too many to mention here, but I definitely want to talk about these because they're brand new and they're not good, okay? These are from Fenty. These are the shadow sticks. These are so difficult to blend out that as I'm starting to blend it out on the skin, it is like disappearing. It's becoming patchy. You have to add more on top. And then you go to blend that out and you're like, where is it going? What's going on? And then even if you think, oh, well, I've made a decent eye look out of this, well, enjoy it while you can because it fades very, very quickly. I think for the price point, skip these and get a shadow stick at the drugstore because I have drugstore favorites that are 10 million times better than these for like $5. I also want to talk about something that's been so hyped up, the Glow Recipe Strawberry BHA Pore Smooth Blur Drops. If you have sensitive skin, I am begging you, skip these. These, I know a lot of people like them, but I think they're probably better suited to someone with oily, non-sensitive skin. If you have dry skin that is even a little bit sensitive, run the other way. When I first tested these out, it was on camera and you saw that I was literally getting a reaction. My face was turning red. It was burning. I had to wash it off right away. Even if I didn't run into the sensitivity part with this, I still do not recommend these because they kind of did the opposite of what they were supposed to do. They would make my foundation fully separate on top of my skin when I was applying it. Like that's the opposite purpose. This is supposed to be smoothing. We're not well liked on my skin. So if you have sensitive skin, please, please skip those. Let me know if you're planning to shop or not this year and what you might be picking up. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye.